Hello everyone, my name is Bailey, or Relx if you prefer, and today we're going to be doing something different. Today I'm going to show the basics on how to create a 5th edition character, and we're going to be focusing on Barbarian. Just a second. Once again, we're getting interrupted mid-recording. Anyways, we are going to talk about Barbarian. Now, usually with the 4th edition, I show you both the character sheet and the handbook I'm looking at. However, the handbook I am using is not good. Basically, I'm using multiple sources of the handbooks or handbook to get the handbook because page 5 turns into page 57 in this one. So it's a little bit more difficult, but nonetheless, we are going to raise this character to a level 2 today, but we're going to start with level 1. The reason for this is because 5th edition has some details that you get at level 2 for some classes. You'll notice some changes right away. We have something called Inspiration, Proficiency bonus, Armor class. The speed is different, and we have hit dice. Also, our insight is gone, as well as we have 3 pages to a character sheet now. We have this sheet, which is for all your background. This is all background related. And then we have the spell sheet, which we will get to when we involve a class that has a spell. All right. So let's get started, shall we? So what races can we get in 5th edition? Well, if you want to follow by the book and not do any custom races or anything like that, there is Dwarf, Elf, Halfling, Human, Dragonborn, Gnome, Half-Orc, Half-Elf, and Tiefling. This is still a brand new thing. There is more coming out in the future. One of my next videos is going to be teaching you how to make a custom race, what's overpowered about it, and what's not overpowered about it. So that way you can have more variety with your races. Next, let's get started with our race. I want to be a Dragonborn. Dragonborn Barbarian. So let's go to Dragonborn. All right, I got the page here. So, there's a little bit here about Dragonborns that I'm going to read to you after I take a sip of water. I'm all out, so I'm going to have to get more. Okay, Dragonborns. For all her life, Farda had known that reading her father's face was a skill she'd been fortunate to learn. A human who couldn't spot the shift of her eyes or howlers would certainly see only the indifference of a dragon in clanless Mehen's face. There's weird names with Dragonborns. But the shift of scales, the arc of the ridge, the set of his eyes, the gap of his teeth, her father's face spoke volumes. But every scale of it, this time, seemed completely still. The indifference of a dragon, even to Farhadan. So, Dragonborns look very much like dragons, standing erect in human form. Though they lack wings or tails, the first Dragonborn had scales of vibrant hues matching the colors of their dragon kin, but generations of interbreeding have created a more uniform appearance. Their small, fine scales are usually brass or bronze in color, sometimes ranging to scarlet, rust gold, or copper green. They are tall and strong built, often standing close to 6'2" tall and weighing 300 pounds or more. Their hands And feet are strong, talon-like claws with their fingers and a thumb on each hand. The blood of a particular type of dragon runs very strong through some dragonborn clans. These dragonborn often boast scales that more closely match those of their dragon ancestry. Bright red, green, blue, or white, lustrous black, or gleaming metallic gold, silver, brass, copper, or bronze. All right. So that's just an introduction to Dragonborn. So there is a little bit more, but we don't need to know about that stuff. The only other thing is Dragonborns mature very fastly, reaching adulthood at around 13 to 15 years old. So keep that in mind. If you want to make a teenager, well, you're making a 6-year-old Dragonborn. Now, we're going to start with some of its buffs. So the first thing is we get an ability score increase. Our strength score is increased by 2, and our charisma score is increased by 1. 2, 1. Not 14, 1. Our alignment, Dragonborns tend to extremes, making a conscious choice of either or of one side or the other in the cosmic war between good and evil, represented by Bahamut and Tiamat representatively. Most Dragonborn are good, but those who side with Tiamat can be terrible villains. So if you want to make an evil guy, there you go. Dragonborns can walk 30 feet. Now, if you're trying to compare this to 4th edition, 30 feet can be about 5 squares, 6 squares, around there. Dragonborns are taller and heavier than humans, standing well over 6 feet and averaging almost 250 pounds. Your size is medium. All right, next. In this box down here, we have features and traits. This is where any feats, features, stuff like that would go. And our first one is Draconic Ancestry. You have Draconic Ancestry. Choose one type of dragon from the Draconic Ancestry table. Your breath, weapon, and damage resistance are determined by the dragon type as shown in the table. So we can choose from black, blue, brass, bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, and white. Half of these will do a radius fire breath, and the other half will do a cone fire breath. So the radius fire breaths are acid, lightning, fire, and lightning again. The cones are fire, poison, fire, and cold. I feel like being a white dragon, which is cold, with a 15-foot cone radius. So in our next one with the breath weapon, we're going to do cold, 15 cone con save. Now where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. Now I'll read your breath weapon. You can use your action to exhale destructive energy. Your Draconic Ancestry determines the size, shape, and damage of the exhalation. When you use your breath weapon, each creature in the area of the exhalation must make a saving throw, the type of which is determined by your Draconic Ancestry. So since we picked cold here, they'd have to make a saving throw against Constitution, because that's the one it chose. It's 4. That's why it says con save right there. The dice roll for the saving throw equals 8 plus your Constitution modifier plus your Proficiency bonus. A creature takes 2d6 damage on a failed save and half as much on a successful one. The damage increases at level 11 and level 16. So right here, we can put breath weapon, 2d6 on hit, half damage on miss, 15 feet cone. Perform saving throw, which is 8 plus con plus prof for proficiency. Nextly, we have damage resistance. Wow, that glitched on my screen. Resistance. And we have damage resistance against cold. You have resistance to the damage type associated with your draconic ancestry. In languages, you can speak and write Common and Draconic. Draconic is thought to be one of the oldest languages and is often used as study of magic. The languages sound harsh to most creatures and include numerous and hard consonants and sibilants. All right. Next, since we are a barbarian who's level 1, we have a +2 proficiency bonus. That bonus will change at level 5 to 3 and other levels so on. Only certain classes gain inspiration bonuses. However, throughout a campaign, your DM might give you inspiration bonuses. That's everything for Dragonborn. Now we got to move in to the actual class. We chose Barbarian, so we're going to be doing Barbarian. I just got to turn to the page real fast. All right, here we go. Just one more page. It's going slow, really slow. Here we go. So I'll read a little bit about the Barbarian. A tall human tribesman strides through a blizzard draped in fur, hefting his axe. He laughs as he charges through the frost giant who dared poach his people's elk herd. A half-orc snarls at the latest challenger to her authority over their savage tribe, ready to break his neck with her bare hands as she did to the last 6 rivals. Frothing at the mouth, a dwarf slams his helmet into the face of his drowned foe, then turns to drive his armored elbow into the gut of another. These barbarians, different as they might be, are defined by their rage, unbridled, unquenchable, and unthinking fury. More than a mere emotion, their anger is their ferocity of a concerned predator, the unrelenting assault of a storm and churning turmoil at the sea. For some, their rage springs from a communion with fierce animal spirits. Others draw from a rolling reservoir of anger at a world full of pain. For every barbarian, rage is a power that fuels not just a battle frenzy, but also uncanny reflexes, resiliences, and feats of strength. At level 1, we have a number of things. We have a proficiency bonus of 2, and we have 2 features here. We have rage and unarmored defense. Let's read what rage does. Rage. Here it is. In battle, you fight with primal ferocity. On your turn, you can enter a rage as a bonus action. So right here, we'll write bonus action, enter rage. While raging, you gain the following benefits if you aren't wearing heavy armor. No heavy armor equals advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. When you make a melee weapon attack using strength, you gain a bonus of damage roll that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian, as shown in the rage damage column in the barbarian table. Right now, the default one is 2, so we'll write when you make a melee weapon attack, gain +2 bonus to the damage. Oh, I did that all in caps. Make a melee basic attack, gain +2 to the damage. Be more specific here. I'll tell you. So at level, you get a rage bonus of 2 until the 9th level. However, with every level you get, it increases by 1 because you make a melee weapon attack. So you gain a bonus of damage roll that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian. So at 9th level, it'll be 3. Until then, it is 2. But you still get a +2 to your damage. There's one more thing. Oh, what the hell did I do? There it is. You also have a resistance. A resistance to bludgeoning. Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, which is very nice. Our rage bonus right now is 2, and we have 2 rages. So basically, you can use 2 rages before you need to take a short or long rest. Afterwards, you can recover them. Unarmored defense. While you are not wearing any armor, your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity mod plus your constitution mod. You can use a shield to gain these benefits, but what type of barbarian uses a shield, right? Just saying. All right, now you might be thinking, no armor. Don't worry, we'll get into that later on. But for right now, we're going to move on to other class features. So hit points, the hit dice is a 1d12. Now, this is essentially your way to heal. During a match, you can attempt to heal using your hit dice. Just like in 4th edition, it requires an extra action point. So you'd use your extra action point to roll a hit dice. Whatever you roll from the d12, you get healed. Your hit points are 12 plus your constitution mod. So we will note that 12 plus con mod, as well as we gain 1d12 or 7 per level. So we're actually going to put this plus con mod. And up here, I like to put 1d12 or 7 plus con mod plus bar level. This does include level 1s, but at level 2, if I got a 7, it'd be 7 plus con mod plus 2. Pretty nice. All right. Now we're going to go into our other proficiencies, which go down here. We are proficient with light armor, medium armor, shields. We're also proficient with simple weapons, martial weapons. We have a saving throw in strength and con, which goes up here. We check that. We check that. And skills, we choose 2 from animal handling, athletics, intimidate, nature, perception, and survival. We are going to go survival and intimidate. For right now, anyways. Next, we get equipment. So we get a choice between a great axe or any martial melee weapon. So let's take note of that. because I want to see our options. Great axe or any martial melee weapon. We also get two hand axes or two hand axes or a simple melee weapon. Let's also look at that later. Axes or simple. And we get an explorer's pack. Explorer's pack and 4 javelins. Javelins times 4. All right. Next, we're going to take care of the armor situation before we do ability modifiers and anything else. So let's see here. Arm 140, so 137 it should be. Okay, just 1 second. This might be it. Yes, here we go. We're going to deal with our armor first. So, we are aware that we need to wear no armor in order to get this bonus. Well, if we scroll up a little bit here, I can read what classifies as no armor. If it'll tell me. Armor and shield, armor proficiency, armor class, heavy armor stealth, shields. It didn't tell me. It's supposed to tell me. Well, basically, if you want to run around naked, you can do it that way too. However, it's most common for anything that is light to be considered no armor. So like if you're wearing cloth to leather, that would be considered no armor. And we want leather because leather is good. Leather is an armor class of 11 plus our dexterity modifier. The no armor bonus would be 10 plus dex mod plus constitution mod. So we could get a little bit of a bonus there. However, I'm thinking because we're going to kind of stick to what it says. So leather here will be considered for the unarmored. Yeah, actually it's right there. Medium armor, heavy armor is considered as a type of armor. Light armor is considered of no armor. So we're going to go with leather armor. So down here, leather armor, and we'll put 11 plus dex as a reminder. Next, let's go to weapons. All right, here we go. So we have great axe or any martial weapon. What's a great axe? Great axe right here is a 1d12 slashing. It's a heavy 2-blade. What are our other options as a heavy 2? We can use a glaive, which is a 1d10 slashing, but it has reach, so we can attack flying things with it. We have a halberd, which is a 1d10. A maul, which is 2d6s. A pick. And that's about it. So in this case, we are going to go with the mighty great axe. And we're going to put G-axe up there. The great axe deals 1d12. You get a bonus. The bonus would equal to our strength or dex modifier, whatever one's higher, plus our proficiency bonus. However, that would be in the attack bonus section. For the damage type, we would just be adding, excuse me, our proficiency bonus. So right here, we get a 1d12 plus 2 slashing damage. We're not done getting damage yet because we don't have our modifiers in yet. So next we get 2 hand axes or a simple melee weapon. Hand axes are 1d6 slashing damages. Those look pretty good too. I like the whole axe. 2 hand axes. So we'll put a hand axe here and a hand axe there. However, we also have these javelins. So instead, I'll put javelin. Now we gotta find javelins on here. Oh, it doesn't even tell me. Oh, there it is. 1d6. 1d6 piercing. Plus 2 piercing. And we'll get to its other damage later. 1d6 plus, oh, not 1d67. Oh, that's OP. 1d6 plus 2 slashing. All right. Next, we have the Explorer's Pack. If you would like to know what is in the Explorer's Pack, I will tell you. Just let me find it real fast. It is right here. Includes a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, a water skin. The pack also has 50 feet of hempen rope strapped to the side of it. There you go. That's some useful stuff you can use for your campaign. All right, so now it's time to roll the ability scores. So let's see here. Using my fancy app here, and for stars, we got a nice 14. That is a 10. Ooh. All right, that's 13. An 18, that's really nice. An 8. And another 14. Not too bad. Let's put them in. So as a barbarian, we really want to focus on strength, constitution, and dexterity. So, you know, we're not the very most intellectual person, so I'm going to put that 8 in intellect. I'm also going to put that 10 in wisdom. We're not very smart. I'm going to put the 13 charisma, turning into 14. And I'm going to put another 14 into constitution, as well as a 14. See, this is what I have to decide. Do I want to have a strength of 20, or do I want to have a dexterity of 18? The thing to do here, what I feel is best, is to give the dex the 18 and strength the other 14, which turns it into 16. Now we have to put in the ability modifiers. So just 1 second, gotta pull up my ability modifier page. Ability modifiers, open up, load. 17. All right. So for getting this 8, we get a -1 modifier. 14 gives us a 2. 14, 2. The 10 gives us a 0. The 16 gives us a 3. And the 18 gives us a 4. Very nice. Next, we're going to do our saving throws. If you are proficient with it, you take your modifier plus proficiency bonus. This becomes a 5. This becomes a 4. This becomes a 4. This is going to be a -1. -1. Wisdom is 0. And charisma is 2. Same thing here. If you're proficient with it, you add your proficiency bonus. Other than that, you just add the modifier. So we got 4. Wisdom is 0. Intellect is -1. Strength is 3. Charisma is 2. Intellect is -1. Wisdom is 0. Charisma is 2. Another intellect, so -1. Another wisdom, so 0. -1. 0. 2. 2. -1. 4. The intimidate we are training, so that goes from 2 to 4. 4. 4. And survival is wisdom. Would be 0. We're training it, so 2. Now we can do a number of things, such as our armor. So it would be 10 plus dex mod plus con mod. That's 10 plus 4 plus 2 for a total of 16. Now, that's actually not that much different, because if we didn't have unarmored defense, it'd be 11 plus dex, so we'd have a dex or an armor class of 15. So it makes a difference by 1 point, which is, in the end, pretty effective. Our health is 12 plus our con mod. Our con mod is 2, so we have 14 hit points. Pretty low. However, with how hard you're going to hit, it won't matter. Next, we add our... I need to look this up real fast. We add our strength modifier. Some classes, you can use your dex mod. Others, your strength mod. It all depends on the class. So in this case, we'd be taking our strength mod and our proficiency mod and be gaining +5 in all of these. So now, if you're used to 4th edition, you're coming to this and going, wow, that seems like a lot of damage for a level 1. The creatures aren't a pushover if that's what you're thinking. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I could do like 30 damage in one hit, and it won't even scratch an enemy. All right, next. Our initiative is equal to our dexterity mod, so we have an initiative bonus of +4. And now, our passive perception and wisdom is 10. It's 10 plus your modifier. So next, we are going to do the backgrounds. Now, backgrounds is this part here, and it's completely optional. We're going to create our own just to save time, but basically it gives personality traits. So like, he could be quite reckless, and up here in the background we'll name this why not? We'll name him Bully because he's a barbarian. Reckless, rude, heartless. We'll give him an unaligned nature. He ideals to be stronger than everyone. Cons. He is deeply connected with his father, the man who taught him everything. His flaws, he never thinks before he acts. Stuff like that. So now that we've done all that, we are able to look at level 2. Now, the reason, once again, I'm going level 2 is because a lot of classes don't get their things until level 2. A lot of classes don't get spell casting until level 2, for example. So let's upgrade him to level 2. Nothing else changes other than what he gets from his chart of levels. So for hitting level 2, he gains 2 new features. The Reckless Attack and the Danger Sense. All right, let's take a look at them. So Reckless Attack. Starting at 2nd level, you can throw Acidic Ally. What? Acidic All Concern. You can throw away all concern for defense to attack with fierce desperation. When you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly. Doing so gives you advantage on melee weapon attack rolls using strength during this turn, but attack rolls against you have advantage until your next turn. So, on your first attack, you can choose to be reckless. If so, gain advantage on melee weapon attack rolls via strength. Side effect: attack rolls against you have advantage until the end of your next turn. Next is Danger Sense. At 2nd level, you gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have an advantage on dex saving throws. So, advantage on dex saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps, spells, against traps, spells you can see. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, defended, or incapacitated. And there you go. That is everything you need to know for a barbarian. Only 2 of the 3 pages are for your barbarian. 1 is the actual character. The other is the spell chart. As you level up, you gain more things, but this is in general what the 5th edition is about. It's more focused on background than it is of powers. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know in the future what types of things you would like to see. And until then, I will talk to you later. Have a nice day.